Welcome back to the Closing Room AZ. I'm your host, Jesse Moreno, Realtor Investor Coach, and your straight shooter for everything real estate related here in Phoenix, Arizona. All right, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or just trying to figure out what the heck is going on in this market, you've come to the right place. You're in the right room. There's no fluff. There's no fillers here. Just real talk, real strategies that you guys could use. And we got people here that are actually in the trenches in today's market. So you're going to get some great feedback. Today, we are going to kick off a multi-part series with a guest who knows more about homes than most people probably do, or at least that I know. We've got 5 segments lined up, I believe, in this series here, you guys. And we're going to knock them all out today, do our best, try to knock them all out. In case you do miss it and you jump right in and you happen to look at, you're in part 2 or part 3 of the series, make sure you go back and listen to part 1, part 2, and so forth, because you don't want to miss it. There's a lot of great information. Also, just a quick shout out to our sponsor, Drake's Title. Drake's Title is in Arizona and Nevada. They've been around since 2007. Over 200,000 transactions closed since the time they've opened. They work with investors. They work with realtors, home buyers. They deliver seamless escrow experience. So make sure you guys reach out to them. You can hit them up at drakestitle.com, or you can give them a call, 602-589-5300. Pretty easy to reach. All right, so today we have our first guest. Our guest today, we have Mr. Tim O'Neill. Am I saying that right?
That's right.
All right, he is the president and the lead inspector for AZ Property Inspections here in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. All right, so a couple of things that I found out about Tim that I'm super excited to share with you, and I think it's crazy to me. This man has personally completed over 16,000 home inspections on his own. That's nutty. That's crazy. Yes, you heard it right. 16,000 inspections. All right. He is also a certified inspector since 1996. He teaches continuing education classes for agents here with the Arizona Department of Real Estate. He runs one of the most respected multi-inspector firms here in the state. And we are just excited to have him here. So we are going to get into it. So if you're an agent, you're a home buyer, if you're a seller, whatever the case may be, you got to listen up, pay close attention. Don't jump out. Listen to the end, because he's going to give you more information toward the end. That's gonna be valuable for you guys. So make sure you guys stick around. And as always, please make sure that you guys are hitting my QR code that you see on the screen here. It's information that's going to give you my direct contact information. So make sure you guys click on it or scan it. It's going to get you to the Closing Room AZ site, the YouTube site, my Instagram site, all my social media, and of course, my direct contact information. So make sure you guys click on that. All right, let's get started. Tim, welcome to the Closing Room AZ.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Well,
it's great to be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are going to warm up this conversation by introducing you with your background, right? Because I did a little bit of research about you, and I found some interesting things. Obviously, I'm going to let you take over as I ask these questions, right? But I've learned a little something about you. I've learned that you started that actually you were from New York.
New York.
Right? Yep. And you pivoted over to Arizona back in what?
95.
Back in 95. I don't know. I was going to say 96. I'm not sure where I had that from.
I started in home inspection in 96. But
96.
We actually landed here in 1995.
1995.
Yeah.
Sunny state of Arizona.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
All right.
Big difference.
Well, you're born and raised in New York.
Yep.
Corporate career in New York City, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I heard, at least I read up, that you've commuted from wherever you lived in New York to New York 2 hours a day in commute time?
It was 2 hours each way.
Each way.
From on the Long Island Railroad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always a fun thing.
That sounds crazy to me. I could really handle commute here from where I live to my location for my podcast, which is like 40 minutes away. Sometimes I'm like, it's way too far. In 2 hours, that's nutty. All right. And of course, like I said, you are one of the top inspectors here in Arizona. And I am glad that you are here and be able to share some deep information about the inspection business. Now, I've worked with a lot of different inspectors throughout my career as a realtor. But I got to tell you, when I was reading your information in your bio and I got some information into it and I was digging into it, I said, I got to have you on my show.
Great.
Man, you are a man with a lot of experience. And I'm not just telling you guys this because when I tell you 16,000 inspections, you're not going to find that out there in this industry. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's. I guess you got to be kind of old for that, but yeah, we're still here.
All right. So let me ask you why home inspections. And before you answer that question, before you answer it, why home inspections? I know you became a certified inspector back in 95, 96. You've been in the game for about 30 plus years, right?
Yep.
You've made home inspections your career now, obviously. And I don't know if it's because of your do-it-yourself background experience that you have, perhaps your commercial real estate business. I don't know. And of course, coming from New York City, right? But why home inspections?
Why home inspections?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I got sick of corporate life. Quite frankly,
Sure.
after a while, it was decades after college, and enough was enough. And we had moved out here, and I was a regional manager for an environmental engineering firm, and working for the man, as they say. And I finally had the nerve to quit. This was before kids, and so I was kind of mulling it around one day, and my wife Liz, she says, "Well, why don't you become a home inspector?" And back then, if you could spell home inspector,
All right.
guess what? You were one, and it's true. That's how easy it was. If you could spell it, you were one. And I had found out a lot about houses. I had a lot of friends in the trades back in New York. We owned an old house, and I fell in love with fixing that old house up.
Sure.
And it actually started my love for houses, and that's actually how I got into it. She just mentioned, what about? And I said, you know what? That's a darn good idea. Home inspection, and it's been a great ride ever since.
Yeah. Wow. All right. That's awesome. You mentioned Liz, and I had a question for you on that, right? Because I know you built your business with your wife, right? And I wish she was here, and I had a chance to talk to her. Well, I didn't speak with her. Actually, I think it was through some emails that we had a conversation. She seems like a very nice person. So I wish she was here because there's some good information that I learned about her that I'm like, you know what? She's actually a big part of this business.
She is now, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So at what point did she jump into helping you grow your business?
2010.
2010.
So I had been in the business for a long time before she, and she, we, at that point, we had two little girls at that point, and I was desperate to just grow the business. It was just I was chief cook and bottle washer. I was it, and I needed somebody else to kind of grow it with me. And so I finally asked her. I said, "Would you consider coming with me and helping me grow the business?" And she reluctantly came on with me, and she it's been great ever since. She really
Right.
she's really helped me grow this business.
Sure. Well, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I know working sometimes with the spouse could be a little bit different. And I don't want to say difficult. And I was going to say that, but different. I work with my wife as well. We're in the same business. We work together in the same office. And I love it. I got to tell you, she holds me accountable. She hears me in my conversation. She says, "Oh no, you can't say that." Or "You should say this." Or, she brings us some ideas and I'm like, "Oh, I missed it." Right. So I've had that experience, and that's really helped me in my business. And I'm sure that's the secret, perhaps.
Yeah, you know what? Compromise is really the secret. And it is all just compromise. And I had my way of doing it, and she had her ideas on doing our business. And back then we had one little guest room in our house that we dedicated to our office. And so I would come home from an inspection. She'd have to get up from the desk, the one lone desk that we had, and she'd have to go sit on the bed while I banged out my report. And really, it was meager beginnings. It really was. And I thank God that she came along with me, because really she has helped me grow everything. She really has. She's opened my eyes. Really, it's just and yes, we've had trials and tribulations, like any couple would, but really, we've come to an understanding at this point, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that, man. I love to hear that. I was thinking 16,000 inspections, right? Like I said a little bit ago. But what keeps you going? Because this is just you, not your team, but yourself. But what keeps you wanting to keep on doing it? Because I'm thinking to myself, a man in your position should probably kind of be sitting back a little bit and saying, "Look, I've done a lot of inspections.
You know what? And you're not the first one to say that, for sure. You know,
All
I'm
right.
67 years old at this point, and I like to be out there on occasion. I'm not out there a lot anymore, but usually by request. I am still doing inspections, and I feel it keeps me relevant. It
Okay.
really does.
Sure.
You know, when I teach classes to real estate agents, I don't feel like the relevancy is there if I retired 5 years ago. You know, I need to know the latest and greatest. What is out there? You know, the building materials, how they're installing them, the codes. You know, you don't know any of that stuff, or you're not current on it if you're not out there doing this.
Gotcha. All right.
So that's. Yeah, I don't mind getting on roofs still to this day, although Liz has her ideas on that too. She'd rather me slow down. But, you know, yeah, so our group has gone well over 60,000 inspections all right here in Arizona. I have done 16,000 of those inspections. And, yeah, you know, you think you've seen it all, but you haven't.
Gotcha. Wow. That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. I'm going to wrap up on this session because we're going to have 4 more to go. And I want my listeners to make sure they are staying on track with this and make sure they are coming back. So let me close up by telling you guys what an incredible background you have. Truly appreciate that information you're sharing. And, you know, New York to Arizona, corporate life to crawling in spaces, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So this is the kind of story that really only happens when someone is willing, man, to get them to bet on themselves. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to jump into part 2 in a little bit here in a minute, where we get really good. We're going to get into some good information for buyers and for agents. So I don't want you guys to miss it. Make sure you guys come back, follow us on the Closing Room AZ to get this information. Make sure you guys hit like as well on the QR code that you on my site. Also click on the QR code or take a snap picture of it, however you want to say it here. Yeah, grab that information. That's going to be the best way to connect with me directly. Again, I'm Jesse Moreno. This is the Closing Room AZ, where it's real talk, real conversations with real results, you guys. Have a blessed week. And remember, set no limits. See you on part 2.